Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas Eve. I hope you're watching this and it's or listening to this and you're having a great time. I'm gonna jump on real quick to make a quick few points. Because we used to know that Jesus was the reason for the season, right? But um, that seemed to become a discord because we tired living in squalor in this Americas. So we don't care about that. We want to, you know, enjoy today because tomorrow ain't promised, especially in Americas. Was with this government. But anyway, wanted to come on real quick and to give my feedback on why the lace front no wash deposit girlies had to close their businesses down and go back to work. And I think a lot of people give their own opinions about what they believe the reason is. But I think, in my opinion, it seems to be there is an anointing of a talent, a spiritual hunger, a gratitude that's missing from that element of business. Typically, as Black people, we have a lot of pride in um, our love for church, our spiritual guidance, and how that leads us in primarily all businesses that we partake in. That could be work, home. If you decide that you want to run a little flea market business on the weekends, these are businesses that were out, y'all, before the drop ship Amazon kind of stuff, but back in the day you had people to come in to your community. They had to be people that you knew and trust. And back then, you knew that the people at your church would typically buy something from you. You could sell something to them. They would stop by your shop. They're going to use your services because that's how, Black folk used to operate. And because we didn't, we stopped operating like that. I think it's because there's no spirituality being offered in these places. Like, you could go get your nails done now, and yeah, they offer you a glass of wine, but it ain't nothing like going into the hair salon to get your hair washed and you listen to somebody playing some church music. Like, if you get to the salon early and you like the first person, they're going to be playing some type of inspirational, spiritual music. Why? Because it sets the tone. If you look at all them old TV salons, shows, and there's always like some one person who, is the Christian in the church and of the church shop. And I think that that is the reason why a lot of people are missing. We talked about the personal attitudes, and they have bad customer service, and I think that's why. Because like I said, when you do things from your heart, when you do it from a place of service, and you gifting something to somebody, you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it for the talent of it all. You have a talent, so you enjoy your talent. And your talent is a gift that you prayed or you worked hard on, and you recognize that God gave you that talent. So because God gave you that talent, you don't want to waste it by just using it frivolously with any and every old body. And y'all are starting to realize how that energy reverberates, especially if you're a spiritual person. If you got that demonic attitude, but you can lay a wig, don't nobody want your hands in their head, because it becomes about morality over, quality. You think the people who work on Beyonce, she think she not gonna have somebody that's prayed out. Why you think the only person she let fool her head is her mother? That's a word for Black woman. Back in the day, you couldn't just let anybody put their hands in your hair. Everybody was not allowed to touch your hair, or you weren't allowed to be around certain people, or, if that person had bad intentions, you couldn't put that, they wouldn't let you get your hair done by them. And after, like, the people who started out in the kitchen, the girls who had the shops, the ladies with the booth rentals, it didn't matter who shop, like even in Poetic Justice, right? Think about the movie Poetic Justice. Even though it was the owner's shop, they knew that the way she said her shop went is how y'all going to operate. Y'all gonna have to listen to and respect the rules of her shop. It wasn't no, oh well, you can come up in here whenever you feel like it. You don't have to, you gotta pay a deposit to get your hair done. No, you took people when they came to get their hair done. Somebody came into your salon and asked for their hair to get done. You don't tell them, oh well, you gotta make an appointment. But and that's the thing, like, when you hungry for the style or you doing it for money, you have the ability to work hard to accomplish your goal. But just because you work hard to accomplish your goal, it does matter what your intentions are behind it. Because if your intentions are for you to just be like all willy nilly and, oh, I'm a wig girly, I make all this money, so I'm a flash, and then that don't help. But if you're the type of person where you're doing this because your spirit called you to be a beautician, for you to lay hands on somebody's hair and be able to make them feel beautiful, that's a talent. That's a skill. That's something that you don't just wake up to learn. And even though people can go to these shops, the shop can teach you the basics. How I mean, this the beautician school and stuff, they can teach you the basics. And it's just like, that in order to keep up with this black women and the type of styles that we have, you got to know more than just the basic. If all you can do is lay a wig, sis, I can't trust you with my hair, because what's going to happen with the inside of my hair while it's up under this wig? Can you do a weave in between my, braid out stage? When all right, you're gonna be gone, you're gonna be down for a few months because you're gonna be pregnant, so I gotta get my hair braided. Who can I get to braid my hair? Like, you had to go by reputation. And all our reputation that people have nowadays to review and depend on is um Instagram. That's not a business. That is not a legitimate. I mean, they retain money for their business etiquette and how they are, their entities are intertwined, but that don't mean that they are a business for you. If you have to pay somebody to market, then it's still a business. But that don't mean that they're marketing well to you. And people don't understand that marketing is everything. Presentation is everything. If people only get what they see on the internet and they thinking it's just a bomb style, they don't care about that. They don't think about the attitude. But customer service is everything. That's the presentation. It ain't even what's the after fact, what's done. Like, when you cook food, it's the whole process. You got to love what you're doing. You have to enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy cooking, do you think that you're going to take your time and make a meal made with love that somebody's going to enjoy? No, them people ain't going to want that shit because it's going to taste like salt and anger. No, nobody want to have that. And, like, when you know that you already a person who have a talent and styling hair, you're not going to go to school for it, because you don't need to go to school. That's just something that you need to know how to do. Now, maybe later on, if you want to be licensed so you can get this type of certification or funding or whatever, you might do that. But do you understand, like, the talents that we have as Black people, we take for granted, and we think that attitude won't reflect the leadership of where you are. It does. It affects everything. If people can't trust your leadership, or they believe that you have nothing to offer them positive, why would they give you an opportunity to be near the most important place in their atmosphere, their anatomy, their head? That's where your brain is. And if your brain is there, you can't just trust anybody putting anything near your brain, because that could be, that's like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you had to think about who's perming your head. You gotta trust the person, because I know if I'm talking to any of the girlies from the Gen X, um, time frame, it could be some of y'all millennials, but y'all know that y'all mamas did not allow that. If you ain't like that person, you ain't gonna let them perm your hair, girl, because she gonna take your hair out. Your hair gonna fall out. They're gonna send you to somebody that's gonna take your hair out. You know what I mean? Because people have bad juju, and even if you don't have anything to do with the bad juju, just because it's there doesn't mean that it does not stop or run your ability to be whole. When people got bad energy, it shows. And when you are somebody who don't have the patience to wash nobody's hair, because that's a service. And when you washing somebody's hair, you gotta be relaxing. You gotta make them relax. You gotta have conversation. You gotta be able to keep the flow going. Music is something that can speak to anybody. And do you think that if you have on all the wrong type of music, you're gonna be able to relax around the person that's washing your hair? No. You got to be able to feel comfortable. And you think about it, when somebody, even if you had a shop and would do your little hair in the kitchen or the back of your house or whatever, these people are going to start their day. You're going to see a cross up on their wall. You're going to see the Bible. And even if you don't like church, that's fine. That's fine. But what you have to understand is that a spiritual element is required in order to enjoy your talent, because you got to do it because you love it, not because you're getting a paycheck. Because if you're only doing it for a paycheck, it's going to show after a while. But if you're the type of person where you're doing this because you really truly enjoy what you're doing, you're going to be blessed. You're going to be gifted. You're going to continue. Why do you think these people always talk about rap and they thank God? They thank God because they know that if they didn't have the tenacity when people shut them out and rejected them and told them, no, you don't have the power to make it. You're not capable of doing what we need you to do. You don't have that it factor. You don't have that Beyonce thing. How many people you think ran home and quit? How many people you think kept going? How many people said, "Oh, let me ask you, Lord, for what you think is best," and they got their guidance, or they turned around based off of the information they received from God. God may have given them the guidance to keep moving forward. God may have told them, take a job and work part-time here, but still pursue your talents. Do you think that these Black people or just worked hard one day and somebody just gave them a leg up? No, nothing has ever been given to us. So we, as a culture, we know that if you're missing that spiritual element, the 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 ability to lose your business is almost everything, because we don't trust people who don't think about who you pray to. And I know that people feel like, oh, well, you don't got to pray to, you can be an atheist, that's fine. I'm just saying, people who have some kind of soul or spirit typically want to intertwine with people who they feel have the same kinetic energy. So if you playing gospel music, I know that your hands are probably anointed. You're probably blessed in this field. You've been doing hair for years. Your mother used to do hair. Why do you think that those type of businesses can only be passed down from Black women to Black women? Because we sow culture into you. We're sowing seeds of positivity into you. Yeah, we gonna play a little bit of music, but if you had a booth rental, trust me, whoever owned that shop, if she was a church lady, oh, you was gonna listen to some church music while you there, whether you enjoyed it or not. You're gonna listen. It's gonna be playing. Why? Because sometimes you just gotta go to a place where you're a little bit more relaxed. They show Cheers. You gotta go somewhere where everybody knows your name. Sometimes you gotta go places where you just a little more relaxed, right? In order to um be trusted, or to trust someone. And when you go into somebody who's just doing your hair because they're getting $1,000 a wop, they don't care about you coming back to get your hair treated. They don't care about deep condition. They don't care about a wash. My old salon stylist used to wash my hair over a kitchen bucket, and I still didn't care as long as my hair got washed, because I knew that what she was doing was something that was a talent that only certain people had. You had to know how to make someone's hair grow. You had to know how to make their hair last. You had to teach them how to maintain their hair if they were somebody who didn't know how to maintain their hair. And then they had to trust you with their secrets, because what y'all was doing, y'all were having a chit chat. Wasn't nobody on their phone. You were talking. Somebody was ministering to you, you were ministering to them, and people think that church is just the word church has salt in everybody's wound. So because we don't like the word church, we recognize the word spirituality more. So think about it. If spirituality is your forte, don't you think that the person that you want around you to be spiritual? Just because somebody go to church don't mean that they spiritual. That's a front. How many people show up to work because they're getting a paycheck? That don't mean you like that job. Come on now. Just because you show up to work every day from 8 to 5, and you take your little 30-minute lunch break, your hour, you eat your little sandwich, your cup of noodles, and keep it moving. That don't mean that you enjoy what you do. It just means that it's paying you. And a lot of people fail to realize church is a place where it's a business. So you're being paid. And because church is a business where you're being paid, they're going to operate in an order where they're going to get a AAA rating on their church service. You think they're not going to try to pull out all the stops to make you want to come back to their church? They're going to make you as comfortable as possible because they want you to return. So don't think that for a second that we not all being sold some propaganda when we, partake in stuff. We all being sold propaganda. It's just up to you. And just like that young man said on that video, don't think that when we go to the script club that we not paying to be entertained. When you go to church, you being paying to entertain. When you getting your hair done, you being paid to get your hair done, and you paying for the experience. If the experience is trash, who cares if your hair slays? You're going to be upset about the whole experience the entire time. So you don't have time to be worrying about whether or not your hair slays. Girl, you is pissed off. She didn't set you off. They didn't took your money. Do you understand? Back in the day, you couldn't make no deposit for somebody. If Tammy had a weekly appointment for her hair on every Thursday, don't you think Tammy gonna be there? You don't need to drop no deposit. Tammy gonna be there. Do you think that the shop that Tammy went to counted in Tammy's income every month as her loyal clientele? I'm sure she did, because she knew Tammy was going to be there every Thursday. It didn't matter whether, rain, sleet, hail, snow. Tammy going to be there. So if Tammy going to be there, it's not just because you do a good job. You think this lady going to pay to get her hair done once a week by you for decades because you do a good job? No, you're sowing something positive into them. Why do you think like people won't allow certain energy around them when you're purchasing something? If you're trying to spend money and somebody's you know uh, they're treating you different or think that you broke because of what you look like, do you think you want to buy that? Yeah, you think you got something to prove, but at the end of the day, when you sold them when they sold you that purse, they sold the energy that went with it. It don't even matter. You didn't bought it. You bought it from the person who didn't want you to have it. So now you stuck with a purse or whatever of somebody who think that you don't even deserve it, and you got to prove something. Like Oprah, she tried to go get one of them bags back in the early 2010s, and they was like, "Girl, you can't afford this." She went over to Bergdorf Goodman's or to try to get her one of them Birkins, and they was like, "Girl, you can't afford this." And she was like, I know I'm a black woman, but I probably could afford this bag. And they was like, lady, you is black. You're American. You can't afford this bag. They don't care about your class. And that's why I'm trying to explain to you. You think people want to shop at these stores because they got good customer service? No, they're shopping there because it's the hottest thing. And what you have to understand is when black people, primarily black women, realize the importance of their dollar, just like they send everybody back to work. Come on. Give yourself a hand clap, Black woman. You deserve it. You know why? Because you sent everybody back to work who was running their mouth about how they could cancel their appointment on you with the high boo tax. Not no more. I'm going back to Miss Tammy Shot or whoever her name is, who do the hair. And I know she gonna be open 7 days a week, except for on Tuesday if she got this running appointment. Y'all got to remember, customer service is everything. And when people start realizing that not only do we have the ability to boycott one business, we also have the ability to like literally shut down any atmosphere we put our mind into if we just decide that we're going to take our money from it. So when you see those people who's busting out them weaves, they not busting out them weaves because that's the backup. That's their bread and butter. That's what got them the jobs. So we not leaving one girl to go to another if you're a real stylist. If you're a real stylist, it shouldn't matter. Y'all would need to have to go back to work because, if you could get paid off of doing 4 heads in 1 month and you could pay your rent, who cares, right? But if you're the type of person where you're not paying your rent off of 4 styles in a month, you have to pay rent and pay booth rent and all kinds of other bills. And you got to maintain a receptionist and you have, to bring snacks and stuff. Like I said, it's okay to bring, some things and some treats when give me a little champagne when I'm sitting in my seat to get my hair done. But, I would rather, instead of having Netflix and TikTok app or, some chips or, like I said, a little mimosa or something, people would rather have better customer service. They would rather they would rather pay more and you have better customer service than pay less and have trash. So don't keep that in mind if you don't want to. But if you think that it's going to be helpful, keep that in mind that y'all can keep pissing Black women off if y'all want to. And y'all will have more than the lace front shop stop closing. Keep on. The lace front and lashes and glue lady ain't got shit on all the other places that we will shut down. Don't you see them Asians? They can only take an appointment now. And I'm not being disrespectful to nobody's culture because that's not it. But I'm just saying, once we figured out how to get somebody who's going to do our nails without giving us a whole bunch of attitude, the Russian manicure, yeah, it's $150. But if your nails going to last you for 3 months, why would you spend more money if you didn't have to? And you would rather spend more money, like I said, and you would rather spend more money for a better atmosphere, attitude than just spend less. Oh, it's $60. Oh, it's $60, but you won't pay for it somewhere else. I used to always hear the saying, you're going to pay for it either now or for later, but you're going to pay for it. And that's true. So keep that in mind. People going to listen to some gospel music. You're going to have somebody that's going to listen to some cool jazz. That's a relaxing event. I don't want to hear Lil Baby while I'm getting my hair done. If you playing Lil Baby and I'm getting my hair braided, my lashes done, this is not a place for me because I need to relax. And I'll be damned if I'm going to be relaxed while I'm getting my lashes or my hair braided. Even if you go to the Black shops where Africans braid hair, they're going to play their spiritual music. They're not going to not have something going on because if they need something to have their spirit calm, you think they're going to change their atmosphere for you because you came in here? That changes the whole event. If the person who's styling your hair is listening to this ratchet music and that's not what they normally listen to, do you think that they're going to make that style? The style might still turn out, but the intentions behind it and the enjoyment might actually disappear. If you made it to the end of the video, congrats. If not, thank you for still listening anyway. There's always something positive to say, but remember to say it to yourself first, because if you don't believe in positivity not going to believe in you. Peace out. Good night and Merry Christmas if you believe in that.